Hello, everyone. Welcome to No Drama, Just Movies. We are back with another review. This week, we are reviewing none other than M. Night Shyamalan's Shamhammer, as we call him, his new movie, Trap. I mean, that's what they call him. They call him Shamhammer. So, it works. But if you didn't know already, my name is Cameron Kelly Smith. I am joined by my esteemed colleague.
I'm Phil.
It didn't have the same power this week.
Okay, let's try again. Phil!
There we go. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Now it works.
I'm
now
a little bit ill. So I'm like, it's very contained.
Now it works, huh? We are No Drama, Just Movies. So each and every week we hit you with a movie review, either a current movie release or a cult classic. This week, as we said, is Shyamalan's Trap. So let's just go right into it. You're more of a Shyamalan fan than I am. You know more about him than I do. I think.
I liked his first couple of films. Like there was Sixth Sense was awesome. He tapered off very quickly. I really hated. I hated Split, Glass, and then Old. I remember we were watching Old, and we just have the fun time just when the woman distorts in the cave or something. We're just laughing our asses off at the stupidity. And obviously, yeah, the one I think that might have ruined his career for a bit. The Avatar film.
Yep. That didn't help.
Not the blue one, the other one.
Yep.
So, yeah, but to go straight into it, I think it wasn't as bad as those last ones. I didn't watch Knock at the Cabin because I was pretty much done, but it wasn't as bad as those. So like he might have won me back a little bit. We can go a little bit into detail, but just as like a broad, like a broad little clap on the shoulder. Shyamalan, I guess.
The Shyamalan. Yeah,
never call him that.
But yeah, I mean, to piggyback off what you're saying, I actually enjoyed this movie. I actually did. I know
that's something to talk about here.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed this movie, and the reason why I enjoyed it is because right off the bat, for anyone who doesn't know, this is a crime thriller, and if you want to attach on the mystery element to that, you can. But I think we'll have a debate as to whether there was that much mystery. Yeah. But I think that if you're looking to watch a crime thriller and you enjoy crime thrillers, I think that this is a fun one. And I think that the reason why this is a fun one is because they do flip the dynamics on its head, where from the jump, you know who the killer is, and you are following the story as the killer, evading being captured by the law and evading being his secrets being exposed to his family and specifically his daughter, because the whole setup of this movie is that it starts with I can't remember what the main character's name was called. Was it Cooper? Cooper, right? It was Cooper and his daughter, and they're at this concert. And essentially, the FBI believe that the known killer, who is called the Butcher, who Cooper actually is, they believe that the Butcher is going to be making an appearance at this concert. And so they basically set up this big, let's just call it operation, to try and weed him out and try and basically capture him. And so there's this cat and mouse game that he's playing, and he's very intelligent of basically trying not to be caught, while at the same time he also has a hostage that they're trying to find that's not at the concert. And this sounds much more confusing how I'm explaining it than it actually is. However, long story short, this is a crime thriller, and I enjoyed it. You didn't as much. Why?
I didn't at all. That crime thriller part. Like, I like the idea that we immediately know that he's. I mean, it was in the trailer as well, right? We see in the trailer. I don't think this is a spoiler for people who've seen the trailer. Like, we see him looking at the phone, and like there's the hostage on the phone, and we know, okay, he's the guy. So I kind of like that. There's this like Hitchcock thing of putting the bomb or showing the bomb under the table, which is like to just raise the stakes. If you then show two people talking at the table, the audience knows there's a bomb about to go off, and it's like much tenser. So knowing that he's got this hostage, knowing that he's the guy they're looking for, we're a little bit more on the edge of our seats, I guess. But this whole like concept was absolutely ridiculous. It didn't work at all, and knowing that the actors who plays Lady Raven, the R&B singer, that whose concert they go to, she's actually his daughter. She's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
I didn't know that.
She wrote or co-wrote all the songs, which I really appreciate because I really enjoyed the songs.
Yeah.
But I can't help but thinking this is Shyamalan going, let's promote my daughter's music a little bit. What can I do? Oh, let's make a film that's set at a concert. Here's a couple of songs, and here's a couple of teen girls who like all riled up. We, I think, talked about like just this idea of like where we're supposed to be, or like who are we supposed to root for. We talked about like Dexter afterwards, because like Dexter is a serial killer in the show, and we're rooting for him to like uphold his like facade and keep his family because he's a nice serial killer kind of. But with him, with Cooper,
we like those.
He's an actual serial killer, right? We like, are we supposed to root for him to get away and actually kill this guy, this Spencer that he has in his basement? But then there is this element where we're going, oh, what was he going to try to get away from the FBI? So it's a bit confusing where we're supposed to stand.
I think that's the thing, to be honest with you, and I do understand where you're coming from. I think that's the thing for me. Like, I was on both sides of the coin in a sense where I did enjoy the element of watching this guy, Cooper, who is very intelligent, him finding these new, different James Bond-esque ways to evade the law, and seeing his intelligence work in real time and figuring out new ways where, okay, so they are trying to trap you this way or they're trying to weed you out that way, and seeing how he had to then navigate that to figure out different ways to conceal his identity, while also he's playing this game where he's trying to keep himself hidden while at the same time trying to find out more intel from within. And so that for me was quite thrilling, because it was seeing this guy who is being hunted by the FBI. So in your mind, you're thinking, okay, if you're being hunted by the FBI at this concert, your best bet may just be to stay inside the concert in that one spot until it's time to leave, right? But then they spring these different traps on him where, for example, and it's this classic serial killer thing, right? Where it's like, they love the spotlight. They love hearing the stories about them and the news about them, and people bigging them up into being this larger than life person. And so he can't help but wanting to disappear from the concert space where he's at with his daughter, to then go into these other spaces where he can be with the FBI, where he can infiltrate them, when he can hear what's going on and hear the different intel and hear what the lead FBI agent is saying on the radio. And that made it thrilling for me, because it's like he is casting his own trap in a way, but at the same time, he's also so intelligent and cocky that he's willing to do that because he believes he can still evade it anyway. And that was kind of cool to me. I did actually enjoy that because of the fact that it did showcase his intelligence. Now, don't get me wrong, some of the scenes I think were a bit ridiculous to actually believe. Like we mentioned, the coffee scene. There's a scene in the movie where he basically goes into a room where the FBI agents are basically having a private intel meeting, and he somehow is able to walk right past and right through all the police officers and agents to pretend that he's just here to get some coffee. And the idea that they wouldn't have asked him, wait, who are you? Give me your ID. Where are you coming from? Who are you with? Like, the fact that that didn't happen was a bit ridiculous. And I think that it did need that sometimes. If you're gonna give us this idea of a serial killer who is intelligent enough to be willing to truly walk the tightrope, like literally, you need to make sure that all of the scenes where he is infiltrating or playing the game with the police officers, that it is intelligent. And there was some moments where, for example, that scene where it's like, okay, this isn't believable. Now I'm having to suspend my disbelief forcefully, and that's something you don't really want to do.
I also thought, like, going back to the whole concept of it, and them catching him. First of all, let's say like there's 30,000 men in that arena that could possibly be that guy. And what, they're gonna like pick out every single one? I don't calculate how long that's gonna take, but it's gonna take probably longer than the concert lasts. Also, like we learn later that his wife, like gave him the receipt or something and was working with the FBI. Here's my question. So the wife gave them the receipt and said, you know, the butcher you're looking for, he's going to be at this concert at this time. Why didn't she tell them, by the way, it's my husband, his name is Cooper, and here's a photo? Like, how much did she work with the FBI? Like, if she doesn't have any information, then she doesn't have any information. If she knows that it's her husband going to this concert at this very fucking date and time, why not just tell the FBI that?
Yeah, that's actually a good point, actually, because I think that does actually reveal a gaping plot hole, unless I missed something. But obviously, you know, this is, as you can tell, you know, we're going into spoilers here for anyone who doesn't know or hasn't realized, but we are. However, hopefully it means that you've either saw the movie or this will maybe be enough to still see the movie. But as you mentioned, it's revealed towards the end of this movie that Cooper's wife had suspicions that he may indeed be the butcher, the serial killer. And so, as you said, yeah, she basically makes a call to the FBI and gives them the tip. But yeah, it does make you wonder, okay, did she reveal to the FBI that the butcher was indeed Cooper, or did she not? Because if she didn't reveal to the FBI that the butcher is Cooper, then it makes sense why they would go to this concert and that she would just basically say, listen, I'm getting intel that I believe that this person's going to be, with the receipt, he's going to be at the concert. Then that makes sense for the police to basically be like, okay, well, we've got this tip, we're assuming blah, 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 that he's going to be at the concert. However, if she did reveal that he was Cooper, which towards the end of the movie, you kind of get the idea that maybe the lead FBI agent or the criminologist, whatever she is, that she may have known. I don't know. It's not exactly revealed, but if she did know, then yeah, it makes absolutely no sense why they would then go to the concert and try to do this whole operation, unless she just enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? But I guess it more so would make sense that his wife didn't reveal to the lead agent that Cooper was butcher, because she does say as well to Cooper, when Cooper realizes that his wife was the one that gave the tip, she does reveal to the fact that you know, she wanted to believe that this wasn't the case. And, you know, so maybe I guess you can make an argument to say that, okay, so she didn't say it was Cooper because she couldn't believe that it was Cooper just yet.
She still called it in.
Yeah.
So she called it in, but she didn't give them the full information that it would have needed to actually catch him, which again feels like just like a lot of work from Shyamalan just to say, let's have a concert film with my daughter. I guess here's a story. I don't know. So I think that takes away a lot from the film for me. If I feel that not a lot of thought was put into the actual story. Because it could have been like from the trailer, I really was interested and ready to like give him another shot just from the trailer, because like on paper it's a really cool idea, right? This guy in this huge arena, and there's so many ways, like you said, so many places that he can go, so many things that he can use to try to get out. But it just didn't do that. It just didn't. Or if it did, then it made no sense, like with the coffee scene.
Yeah, I think so. This is the thing, right? Like, I think that the movie has these moments where unfortunately it isn't the most intelligently written, and so sometimes that can take away from the scene that you're watching, especially in hindsight. However, there still was for me those moments of mystery and tension that I think actually really did work for me. Like, for example, when like Lady Raven, the concert singer, does come back to their home, and you know, she is playing the game between her and Cooper. Cooper's like, listen, you need to get out of my house right now. But she's like, no, if you want to play this game, I'm going to play it because I want to help them catch you. And that was a tense scene, and it was also nice as well. I think when you had that breaking point where she does run into the bathroom with the phone, and that is the final meltdown for him because he realizes that he's been caught and that he's been one upped. And now, and you fast forward to that scene when he is in the car with Lady Raven, and he does allude to the fact that he told himself that these two lives can never cross. However, they've now crossed, and now that they've crossed, there is no going back. And that also was kind of sad because he does love his family, he does love his son, he does love his daughter, and that realization for him of the fact that these lives have now crossed, he knew what that meant, and he made it very clear, and it was, I felt, made very clear that you could see that by this happening, he knew what the loss of that was, which is that he can't see his family anymore, he can't be a part of his kids' lives anymore. I do wish, on a side note, that they touched upon it a little bit, and it was a very interesting scene when Lady Raven is impersonating, I guess, his mum. Kind of didn't really make sense in hindsight, but I would have liked to have seen more of that, because one of the things that I do enjoy, or do find, I shouldn't say enjoy, find really interesting about serial killers or serial killer documentaries is when they do go into their childhood or particular events that could have contributed to their behavior now. Not to say that it obviously, can be used as an excuse, but I always find that interesting. And I would have liked maybe a little bit more insight into his relationship with his mum and what particularly went on there that could have led from one point to the other. I also, as well, would have actually been quite intrigued to find out, or to have a scene where he did commit his first murder, or he did commit his first crime. That to me would have actually been quite interesting to actually see, or to see the build-up of the planning of, just to get more of an insight into who Cooper actually was, and how he actually was behind closed doors would have been actually very interesting. That's one thing I would say as well. I felt that the performances were pretty good. I felt like the performance from Cooper, the actor that plays Cooper,
Josh Hartnett, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I felt that he was pretty good. I did feel like it was a pretty good performance, and ultimately, I do agree where it's like, it wasn't the complete package. I do believe it's a movie that you will look at and go, this movie had potential. And obviously, the very, very final shot of this movie gives a little tease to a potential sequel. However, based on the box office, the sequel is never happening. However, unless Shyamalan funds it himself, but which I'm not too sure if he has been doing.
I think he's been funding for a while now his own film. Yeah, his own pocket.
So maybe it's possible. Maybe it's possible. I would certainly be intrigued. I don't know where you would go from here, but I think that
maybe exploring a little bit more of like just his history and maybe.
Yeah,
I do. Just to catch on what you said earlier, like I did enjoy it once they get out of that concert hall, and once Lady Raven gets a little bit more involved, once she finds out that he's the butcher, because now we have that clash, and that now we can do that cat and mouse really, because I don't think the FBI does a lot. Like they hype up this the older FBI lady is like this best profiler, and she's going to catch him, but she's not really doing much. So once we get that Lady Raven, and once she shows that she actually has that chutzpah, and can actually like go up against him, that's where it becomes interesting. So I wonder, and like you said, like once it gets a little bit more into his story and we see him with his family. So I wonder if like the concert part should have just been a very small part of the film and then going quickly into that concert.
Well, young Padawan, that has been our review of Trap. So obviously we have a new rating system now. We got a new little icy rating system, for a slushy for you fans in the UK, or icy is a bit more of a universal term. So I'm going to throw it to you. Out of 10, how many ices out of 10 would you give Trap?
Oh, man. I've thought about this and I was ready to give it like a 5. Because I think this is a film that kind of comes and goes and it's okay. It's like, talking about it again and just this like, I think it might be a 4 for me. I think it might be a little moldy, green, icy, a 4 out of 10.
Okay. I mean, look, it happens. It happens. I mean, I'm gonna go a bit higher. I'm gonna go with a 5.5 icy
Not
out
that
of
much
10.
higher.
That's right. 5.5 icy out of 10. And I think it's
Okay.
because I am a crime thriller guy, I'm a crime drama guy, and I do enjoy these kind of movies. And for me, there was enough enjoyment there. It did have a lot of gaping holes, but I did enjoy it. And I would say as well that if you are a fan of crime mystery thrillers or crime dramas, I would give it a watch. I think it is an enjoyable watch, especially if you're watching it with somebody as well, you know, so you can have the kind of conversations that we are. So you're going with a four ices out of 10, and I'm
4
going with
ices out of 10.
5.5 ices out of 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our review of Shamhammer's Trap. Of course, we do weekly movie reviews. So please give us a like, comment if you want to get involved in the conversation, because we're always happy to do that. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We are coming, as we said, with weekly movie reviews, whether it be current movie releases or cult classics. We may delve into a little bit of TV from time to time, and also some of the biggest news topics and conversations in the world of movie news. So my name is Cameron Kelly Smith, and I am joined by my esteemed colleague,
Revving up Phil.
there we go. That's it. We are No Drama, Just Movies. Thank you very much, guys, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care, guys.
Bye.